Malo lau mari hau eiki mo lelei ai tonga solo mo i volanko tonga fia ke tale lei ki mo tolu ki he tau prokalama koia hauani pe mo reti au mo televisione Pasifika me Australia pe ku hunga ia e prokalamani ke tau i henia he ahoni pe moni ihi o kautaki me he community ai kainga tonga me Anchorage Alaska Amerika pe o ke ama taha ke he o ku kau mai pe me Texas i Amerika lahi pe he foki ki Palestini koia o Polynesian Association of Alaska ko Luciana Hansen o kau mai mo i he tau prokalama koia o ahoni. Ka he kai te whaloloa ka te uange mua ai whenga maari ke te ki nau tolu ke takitaha whawheroaki mai ki nau tolu ma nau komiti ke tau iloko hai o tau whepōtala noa aki muia I he hoa koini. I'd like to welcome you all to our panel here today on Pasifika TV and Radio. It's such an honor to have all of you joining us from the United States of America, most particularly our team from Alaska. Also here with Lucy, the president of the Polynesian Association of Alaska. But I'd like to give you all an opportunity for kamata pe a whenga maarie ke mo whawhiroaki mai ki mo tolu ki tau polokalama. Mahalo te tau kamata pe me a Fehoko Pulu, pe a toki hoko hifo pe ki toinga koia e tau kulupu he pongpongi ni. Malo.
Malo pito mai whainga maari ko ni ke tau whepota no aki ai he ngā wea. Mo e kautati I ko ni me Australia. Ko hingoa ko Fehoko Pulu, ko e CEO au e Alaska Community kainga tonga ko ni I Alaska.
Ko hoku hingoa ko Livai tau toa si rima Ofiu. Pea ko e Palestine au he Tongan Community I Anchorage, Alaska.
Kulaea Siulua Forest, ko e haubako bobo mai ki Polynesian Association of Alaska. Malo. Malo lele ko kingoa ko Lani bea, ko e tahau e kau media ko nyai Tongan Association of Alaska. Kalau tengah live ya pemilih dia koya Alaska ni, lele ko ni tahu zoom ko ni malo apit.
Ko wingoa ko Sela Ofiu pa ko ho awe Palestini. Pa ko ku fatongi ai proklama ko ni ko ko tokon ke peke u me ko ni ko fa folawa ki tonga ko ngawe fangata ai no o lama ke fai au. I peki ko ne umea ke ame ko ni tonga. Pea ko mawa hawhia lahi ngā ue ko ne uwhai.
Malo, pito, whamanatu ki a motolu, maha koe kolosi atu koe ni ki a Kato, ke wheha ki lea whawhilo aki,
Malo lele, malo a pito Sulieni, whawheta e bloto, ki mua kau whawhilo aki atu au, kau tamu atu ka whawheta ki he atua, kau hinga ko ne omi a whanga maari e koe ni ke tau whatata hamai o whawhilo aki atu a ngā ue ko lava me Alaska. Pea ko aue koe poupou pe, I'm a member of the Polynesian Association of Alaska, whawhawhonga I a Tonga. Pea ko te hiki mai ki Texas I kako kei me mi papeauia I he Polynesian Association of Alaska under leadership of Luciana Hansen. She's the president over here. She will introduce herself. So I'm just a supporter, a networker, public relations. I wanted to reach out to you to make sure that everybody's acknowledged this beautiful donation drive and the relief that is. This effort is not just one person. The whole state of Alaska, the Tongan of Alaska, the Tongan Community, the Polynesian Association of Alaska, the Samoan community. I mean, we're talking about Lucy, what Tito talked about this whole efforts and also Fehoko. Kako au tatau pe mo Kulaea ko popo pe mo lotu nga au fine. Ko nga ko ofa ke tau kakai ki tong. Ko tonga mamaunga ke loto atau mua. Afine mo tu ako ni malo apito.
Malo pito Kato, pe whaosi pe te kolosi atu ki he Palestini koia Polynesian Association. I'd like to give an opportunity now to Luciana Hansen from the Polynesian Association of Alaska. If you could introduce yourself and also the association, and particularly in terms of its demographics, I believe it's obviously made up of many different Pacific communities there in Alaska.
Thank you for the opportunity. Tala falava to our Tongan family in Tonga, our Tongan family in Alaska. Even though I'm not Tongan, I'm already a Tongan since the beginning when I got here and started the Polynesian Association of Alaska. I am the CEO and founder of Polynesian Association of Alaska in Anchorage. It is a nonprofit organization with a tax-exempt 501c3 since 2006. When we started in 2005, Kato was one of the Tongan community individual representative that represent the community of Tonga in the Polynesian Association of Alaska organization. It was a long way through, but we'll finally come to where that the purpose and our mission is finally come together as we work in years and years and years of bringing our Polynesian and our Pacific Island community here in Alaska together. So, and that was the purpose of our bringing up the Polynesian Association of Alaska organization, is to find a place or a home for our Pacific Island community. So I'm grateful to be here, and I'm very happy that we have done this for our island of Tonga, and the containers are on the way home.
And thank you so much. And Lucy, could you give us a little bit of an idea of what is the population of our Pacific communities there in Alaska? What kind of numbers are we talking about? And maybe more specifically in terms of Tongan people, how many roughly Tongan people do we have living there in Alaska?
I think the last census that we had so far, we were close to 130,000 Pacific Island all around in Alaska. Out of 130,000 Pacific Islanders in Alaska, all over Alaska, I think probably maybe 1% of those are Tongans, our Tongans community in Alaska, and they're not originally living in Anchorage, all that population. I think there's most of them are out in other islands of other cities of Alaska. Not by choice, but they have to work and provide, provide livage for their families here.
Awesome, that's lovely. Thank you so much, Lucy. I might cross now to Fehoko. Fehoko, malo tau lava ki he hawani ka o wate whenga maari koe ni. Ke o mai haki whakamatala mo ki pui tua o whekau aki pia moho mo porokalama tokoni na mo whakahoko ai mei Alaskana I hena ki ho tau kainga koe I Tonga ku lau whoki he ngahi o ngō na mo whakahoko pe he ngahi whao container pe mo ngahi luku ke he pe. Ke hanga pe mua o ome haki I mautolu koe ni mau I tua Alaska. Ke omi mua ha whamatawa o whekau aki pia moeanga koe ho mo tokoni, pe na mo toko whiha mo tolu, pia ke mahino whoki kainga Tonga koe ni I Tonga pia mo morini whoki.
Aloha pito whiwhia pito mai whainga maari koe ni, ke ato haki o ngongo whikau aki, mo ngau e koe ni ma whahoko I heni Alaska. Ko ngau e koe ni nei te kake kamata I community I Tonga I Alaska, me tau ko si ka koe whawhetai pe koe a koe whewhine ofa Lucy ke ne whetu taki mai ka te au tō ua pe tō tōl maho e ma alo lunch mai whewhine ko ni ne kore mai ka te au ke pe te ulawa ki o ka mata I ai ngau e ko ni pau tange ki ai he ka te palo mesa ka koe ka koutui pe koe au ki sanuari e wafe ua ku ka mata e programa ko ni pe a hoko ko ni koe mea koe na hoko I Tonga ko mawhataha ki mua mo ki kurupu pia mautolo mawahanga whotua community. Aho tatau pia ko mau ai telefoni me office me ia, ke uaruange una whetala noa mai ka te au. Pau tārewa ki pasiteni ka Livai Ofiu ke maalu. Mua whau haki mea ke mao kore ke me ia, ke na tokoni mai ke whaha tokoni ki Tonga. Pa maalu mo Livai koe ke office me ia na mau whataha na utaha ka Lucy. O talange ki ai koe ko osfotu ai community. Pea na e whiawhia tō taha ko ni, pea na e loi mata ia e matala noa. Si ke non believe it o whahoko ai mea ko ni Alaska. Ka ke pa maal ke office me ia, ka mata ke mono atu e maki kore ke whae toko ni pe mai ai office me ia ka tik maua. Koe mau heni ki tokoni. Kai tala mai peho mauloto, te mau whai peho maulelei taha. Pe mau mātuku mai ko ia koe whai palani, aia ki na maalo e purelulu ke me ia, Pea koe whala ite o wiki tatau pe, o tamai na tō wai wakapuna, tēnā e puna atu ki Tonga o atu e mau ofa. Kana fu wawe ka mau tō pa mawhoki mai pa te tamai e office mea, o kai ke la vai, o kai ke tari e Tonga ke toa ngā wakapuna ke he malai uia ko e COVID e. So mahao lewa whai tānoa, to tānoa molusi, whikau aki mo e Palani, to e tā malewa e office mea, wai whai Palani ia, ke alu meheni ki Kalolaina o whakaheka meai, kai ke fuwheu ngaia. Pea tā malewa lusi ka te au, tānge ka nau tolo e kai te ke tari koe whai Palani ko ia. They have to come up with another plan. So pa nau tā malewa o tala mai kore kuas mao e whai Palani, ke teo ke whauta e container ua. Ka pau e lahe ofa e kakai e lava tolu. So pa ko whai Palani na whauka ke ngawe, ko e mana e ki na hoko e lotonga e mau ngau e koe. Kai ki aha mau mea matole mau, hanga e mea mono ofisi o whahoko e mea kotoa pe. Whetu taki ke ngai whetu ke heni, ke ngai mea kotoa ai, o kore ka nau tolu ke nau tokoni, ke whakaloto e kakai ke nau whai a tokoni. Pe nai whai e ngau e koni, nai wheu ngai whai ngau e koni mo e whai wike e ua mo i konga. O maulawa lewa tānaki ai container tolu, fute whanoa container tolu ki whafola atu e ki Tonga. Kai ki aha mau mea mau, koe ofa tātā pēa e kakai, mo e ofa e ki, he wanga e ki o mawhia mea kotoa pē. Na whi mau pēa e ki talanga o mauloto. Koe kakai tō lahe kuna whehu i mea ka te au, pe wanga, pe ko iloi ai ongo mau he kakai i Tonga. Pau tangi a ion, ko iloi ai ongo kuna mau, he nau i Tonga i taha hiwa walua, na e toa e a whaako ai sake. Nau iai ai i Tonga tai ko pau, tā mai vai mo nau tolu, pe a tū mai lewa so mitia ko ni Alaska, ngai Kautaha TV, o lava lewa ke nau whahoko mau ngai pō karama ke sio mai ka kai ki ai. Ka ku mau ki toko leka pia ki mau tō, mau toko hongo fulu pe. Mau tū o whae ngau e ko ni. Koe lahi taha pe koe kakai whiwhine, koe ke sio mai pe, koe kakai whiwhine na nau tū, o whae ngau pole ke whae ngau e ko ni. Pea koe Palestini o e community Tonga, kauna toko taha loto lahi. Nea ko toko taha ko ni ku maha ki ka wholahi o na fui mafu. Pea lawa ke whaia ke ngau e. Ka mai toko taha ko ni whaloto lahi mea ka te au, ai pe tatui ke lahi, e anga e ki o whakakato mea kotoa pe. Pea koe o lai e mau ngau e, na mawhanga whamumua e ki he ngau e kotoa pe, na mawhahau ke whonuani. Toi a pe malo.
Malopito Fehoko, koe hā ngahi whangakoloa na mo malawa o luku mai mei Alaska mei hena ke whao atu ki container lawe i pena ke pehe mai koe fute whanoa e tolu. Koe hā ngahi koloa na malawa ke whao atu ki ai maho tau kainga koe i Tonga.
Sai koe container e tolu koe ni, o kai ke tawhataha pe ki he vai mo mea kai. O aru kia e wala, o aru kia e teniti, mako teniti, u whawhiofi ke teniti te au, wai metikolo ke alu hangatonu e metikolo koe ni ke Viola Hospital, o wai e wheelchair, kai mea ke tokoni ke hoko koe COVID i Tonga taimini, o kuiaia e mea kai ke au ke wala, o wala tokoni, o kai ke mausio pe ke mea kai, ka alu e ngai mea kai ke koe sai mini, Fere mea kai ke i roto koe dry food, o koe mo canned food, o kui loto iai. Ka koe matori koe mea koe kui loto iai, ngahi mea ke e pe. Mauiro e lava tokoni ki o tau kai ngai Tonga.
Ko ia whamalo atu ko whungau e lahi o mo whai o ke koe ngau e sisi i pia tatu whito me Alaska ia. Mahalo te wange whangamari ke Kato, ko Kato ia na hiki ia me Alaska ki Texas ia. Ke omia ki whamatala o whikau aki moeanga koe ai no fo i Alaska. He ko tui pe koe whaitu o mo moko au pita nau siu ke fua maa whanaho mo ia i he tikri Celsius o e aho ni, koe -5. Ulawe i pe ene mo moko au pita mo ia. Ka ke kātaki pe omia ki whamatala o whikaaki pia moe anga no fo e kainga Tonga i Anchorage, pe he whoki ki tunga koe mo ea moe no fo kātaki.
Yeah. Malo pita Suli. Now toki ki mai bia ki Texas na Layt Alaska. Pia tupa ki Tonga. Pia tele mai ki Alaska ke Fehoko ako pia ngau ai pe o fafonga e tau ki Whanua Alaska. Na e toko si au pita community. Ka koe taini mi kua toko lahi au pita ka kai Tonga kua nau hiki at ki Alaska no whai. Pia whawhetai he maua whangamari to work together with Lucy and Hansen. Lucy and I, we go way back for, like she mentioned, when it's first started. We also started the first Polynesians Lions clubs, which they also donated a lot of eye classes for the elder in Tonga. The Alaska Medical Missions in Alaska donated 4 pallets of medical supplies for the hospital in Tonga. That includes about 20,000 masks and gloves, which we know doa te COVID tiki Tonga mahuinga upito ke malu ia tau kakai. Ko kakai ko Alaska na we go away long way back with Lucy na ki whaingata ke whaingata hai mai kakai Tonga. I ngahi tuunga kehe pe. Ka ki he taimi koe na aku whawhawhonga ia Tonga I any part of Ngāue University of Alaska, Anchorage. Na ia ku puk project na e sen ki Tonga. The whole state of Alaska, it's the spirit of the Alaskan people. They love to support anything that cause to impact a lot of people to make a difference. And Lucy have a big heart. She's the founder for the Polynesian Association, but it's bind everybody that are under Polynesians. So I hold on to the Tongan community. We represent Tonga. I represent Tonga in everything we go to in Alaska, even the Anchorage Community Police Relations Task Force. I was there representing Tonga to educate the police on how our Tongan culture we don't look at people eye to eye. Those little things it goes a long way to the community to educate them about our culture, about Tongan culture. I'll let Lucy talk to you about the detail of what was been donated as well, because she has connected with everybody in Alaska, not just the mayor's office, not just the governor's office, but businesses in Alaska, other communities. We were part of the Polynesians, the Bridge Builders of Anchorage, which has 99 different communities in our school districts, in our whole state of Alaska. Pena maunga au e whakataha, lahi au pita ngahi community services, volunteer work, public services, na te lele ai pe o whakawhawhonga I a Tonga. Pa koe aho koe ni o whiawhia hau loto, koe whakatangi atu a Fehoko, ka o maa e community Tonga koe na te whakatuu ki he puleanga o Alaska pena e tali. Pena te network at pe me Texisi, Suli or reach out to Ofiu Lisa McCaskey. They reach out to Lucy and ask ask about myself and ask about the Tongan community. Ko ngahi relationship na build ki mua. O kuhalele e ola ko ia I he ahoni. O whakawhainga maali e ai mea hono kotoa pe ke seni ai container tolu tai totongi. Na lava foke container tohi o sen tai totongi. Ko uhinga pe koe ofai kainga Alaska. Pea kuiai ai loto lahi ko kamataanga ni ngā we Fehoko. Ka o mai community o Tonga I Alaska. O kia e tala monu atu. Pea o koutu pe koe pōpō me neongo ko te hiki mai o nofo heni. Ka oku kei Alaska pe ai lotoni. Pea o kei Tonga mo unga ke lo. Pea oku kei mate ma Tonga I he aho kotoa pe. E ngau e whai atu me he whanua koe ni. It won't take much of my time. I think the time needs to go to Lucy to explain, because she is the driving force of this whole drive for Tonga for the donation relief. She done so much work that I kept thanking her. And I mentioned to her, together we can do the things we can't do alone. Sometimes ke whakafonga e a Tonga me he Polynesian Association of Alaska. Pea ngā au e whakataha pea mo community o Tonga o Alaska. Pea na e mau I kuna. Neo ngo hanko lawa Fehoko, ko ki toko si ipe, aha ko ta peo nau gather. Ka ko iwi mo mawhai o e ki na ne hanga ea o whakaivia ki nau tolu. Pea ne hanga toa ki I mai Alaska ko toa pe ki nau donate I mai ki ngā ue ko ne whakahoko. Pea ko whakamalo atu Alaska, whakamalo atu ke community, ko toa ka kai ko toa pe na nau donate. O ko hounga ki hoku loto. Pea kai te o te whalolo ka want to give this opportunity to Lucy so she can explain from day one until the end. Malo apita Suli.
Malo apito Kato. I'd like to give the opportunity to Lucy to elaborate a little bit further on some of those connections, some of those networking that's been taking place, and to bring this all together in some of the, I guess there probably were even some logistical barriers that have been overcome. So Lucy, if you could elaborate a little bit more in terms of our containers, but particularly, I suppose, the great networks that you've brought together in driving this project forward.
I like to thank Fehoko and the Tongan Community of Alaska, because day in and day out, I see this 5 elders that they're always there with their wives and either their kids, some of their kids, they come in, and some nieces and nephews, they come in and help pack this stuff. I am the force to connect, the pieces together, but they're there to box every day. They box everything that comes in. I do the run around, get boxes, tapes, and take it over there, take it to churches that are giving their time and their room to collect all these items. But they are the hardcore of the whole thing. They go pick up the packages from other cities of Anchorage. They come in, load, unload. So I thank them because there was only 5 or 6 of them and their own families. But, that's why I said God was there with us, because even though there was only few of us that was there to get this together, but we did it. And we did it because of the help from God. And even if we see that we have a lot of Tongans here in our community that didn't come and lift a hand, but it's okay. We send containers out to call all of us Alaskan, even those that don't come and help. And it's all from us. So the connection that I wanted to say was I wanted to thank the Anchorage Mayor Office and his 2 guys that we worked from the day one that we met there. Probably Fehoko mentioned that we met with the mayor's office that day, and they said they're going to help us. So we went and we talked. But before that day, before this ever happened, last year in October, I called Fehoko, Livai, and their wives, and I said, and some of the other people in the community, I said, we need to start something for the Tongan community. And we need to do that. And then Fehoko said, we'll get the paperwork done in January, not knowing that something's going to happen to the island in January. So when we woke up that morning, we heard the news, and I called Fehoko, what are we going to do? Can we do something? We have to do something. So then the mayor's office connected with Fehoko, then there we are. We met with the mayor's office. Lisa Mikowski's office called us, I believe was the holiday, that Monday, and then left a message that she wants to know what Polynesian Association of Alaska and the community are we gonna do anything for the Tongan Islands? I tried to call back to Lisa's office, but couldn't get through. So I had some other ways to get through, and I got through one of the individual. So they were working, trying to get the I guess if you call it a Good Samaritan purse on that side of that they're the one that help out with things like this, and they couldn't get through. So then we went and met with the mayor's office, and the mayor's office said, we will connect with somebody. Our request to the mayor's office is we don't have money. We don't have the manpower. We don't have any connection to take stuff to back home. And if you're looking at us to try to go and get the funding, we don't have that, but we can try. So I said to the mayor, okay, this is what we can do. You'll work on your part to find a connection to take this shipment to Tonga. We'll go work with the community to collect the donation. When we left, they called us and they said they found a plane that will take 1,000 pounds to Tonga, but it will leave in 2 days. And they wanted a space to put all this stuff that we're gonna collect and wrap it up, ship it to the airport, and take it to Hawaii. And we have to get a connection in Hawaii to take it to Tonga. And I said, no, we're not gonna do that. It's not gonna take, we're not gonna have enough in 3 days to take it to the island. It's gonna be a waste of time. And you're gonna make us run around like rats, you know, to try to get this in 3 days. We can't do that. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna find a connection, we'll find a connection, and then we'll come together. And whatever we can provide, you know, however long it will be for the end of February, we'll do it. But we're gonna do it and get a container and send it back to Tonga. So that's where we were. At that day, 3 days later, they called me and they said, we got Matson. Matson's gonna take it to Tonga. I said, give us 2 to 3 weeks. We'll collect enough to take back home. So that's where we were. Then connections came in. The mayor connected with some other offices like Alaska Airline to see if we can get some. They connected with other governor and then also connected to the governor of Alaska, and they did a press release to our state of Alaska. And so everybody will be able to collect and then pile it up in their city. And then Alaska Airline will deliver it to us and we'll pick it up. Our work was to find a site to where we can, people drop off the containers or drop off the items that we need. So we have churches that volunteer to open their doors, and then churches, members, and then we created a flyer. We went on media. We had news after news with Fehoko. And I was like, Fehoko, come meet me. Even though it's cold outside, we're gonna stand outside and we're gonna do this piece. And we're gonna tell the people, donate. These are the places that please donate. Whatever you can donate, please, we really do. PAOA went online and we created a site on our website so we can collect the funding. And so the funding started running in that night after our first meeting. And then we didn't close until I think was the night before the 11th, and we closed it. But we were still accepting donation even on the 11th, the day that we pack all the stuff and ready to, you know, until the next day, I think was the 12th, we're still taking donation in. And people was just like, you know, their heart is just full of love, you know, and it just can't believe what people, when they send their donation online, they send with a little note. And what I do as Polynesian Association, we send a thank you letter and say, God bless you for your gift and may you be safe, you know. So it was a touching, I can say that to myself, from the day that we started this, you know, up to till now. I'm still tearing when I talk about the greatness of God that did for us, you know, because we couldn't even do this. It all be, you know, without his help. The manpower that we have and the people that we were counting on, you know, to help us, you know, we're not there at the time. But the manpower, even though that we're so small, God provided all that strength and all the people at the day that we needed to come and help us. So I am very grateful. We had people that donate in-kind donation that walk in, and then they also donated money. The Matson sent us 2 containers because when they see that, it will fill 2 containers with what we already collected up to the 11th. And then Fehoko and the group said, I think we have 2 more pallets left. Do do you think we can get a third container? I said, we only have $500 left. We walk out with the Tongan Community secretary, and I said, well, 500 is not going to be enough for our third container. And then God sent somebody in the church with $5,000 and wrote it out to us right there and says, here's $5,000. I couldn't, I mean, I was like out of words, tearing, and like, thank you, Lord, because we needed this to fill up that third container. So then I said, here it is. Let's go shop, fill up the third container. I contacted Hansen, and they dropped off the container that same evening. So yesterday was Saturday night. We fill up that third container, close it, and yesterday they all shipped out to the port. Was on a ship last night, and Tonga is coming. 3 containers from the state of Alaska. And I say thank you to Fehoko and the Tongan Community of Alaska and all the help that we have, all the volunteer people that just make it so easy for us. But it's not us, it's God that make it easy for us to get access to all these people that help us through this effort. So I am very grateful because we have donations from Barrow, Alaska, from Juneau, Alaska, from Metsu, Alaska, from Willow, Alaska, and also Anchorage, Alaska. And we got shipment came from all those cities. And then we have businesses that help us from Metson Freight Shipping, Alaska Airline, Alaska Medical Mission, GCI, Superman Movers, Walmart South, Samoan Community of Alaska, and International Lions Club. And then besides that, we have churches like Anchorage North State Church of Latter-day Saints, Manaifo Assembly of God, Anchor Park Methodist Church, MCA Island Revival, Anchorage Baptist Church, Seventh-day Adventist Church. And then besides that, just 100+ people, families that came in and dropped off a bag or 2 or 5 or boxes of food and stuff. So we are very grateful. And from me, I'm not Tongan, but my heart, it goes out to my people. It doesn't matter if you're Samoan, Tongan, or Hawaiian or what, but they are human. As far as I see that whatever hurts, if your heart hurt or your hand hurts, your whole body hurts. So I hope that the container will get down there safe in one piece, and I hope that it will help the people that needs it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for sharing. And also, it's incredible to hear those testimonies coming out of Alaska of God's grace and God's mercy and love moving through different people to enable what would potentially look like the impossible, and made the impossible possible at such a time as this. And of course, God obviously knows how desperate the need is back in Tonga for this assistance to make it happen through you guys and through your leadership and the rest of the team there in Alaska. Absolutely inspirational and just so encouraging for us to hear. I don't think for those of us outside of Alaska are aware until this interview of some of the great work that you guys have been doing. I'll come back to Fehoko and Livai ko te whoki mai ene ki a Fehoko pia mo Livai he taimini e te nau lava o whaihaki I lawe. O ku whewhe e halanga waka ko ene ki awe ngahi konteina ko ini pia me Amerika lahi ki Tonga. O tuipe ke halanga waka hanga tonu ia me Anchorage ki Tonga. O kuanga whewhe pe ko ha angahi whangataa whaka takia ki Honouta ai konteina e tolu ko ini pia me Alaska ki he otowhilini te. O ato whanga mari ke Fehoko pe ko Livai, a taha ia moua ke o mai haki whamatala ta whako ini.
Suli ati se sia pito he whanga mari ko ni ke whata ti whamatala ke hanga aru ai konteina ki Tonga. O ku mawahe me heni ane afi, ai ko hata tolu ia ko Sapate o Februari, o alu ki San Francisco. Pea mawahe rewa me San Francisco, o alu ki Shanghai Siaina. Pea tok mawahe rewa me Shanghai Siaina, alu hanga tonu ai ki Tonga. Ko anga ia alu ai Metson I he South Pacific Ocean. Ko ngahi wheitu uia una koneki horo ke agai ai konteina ki Tonga he taimini.
Koia pena ia I Livai mo Fehoko hangahi whangataa na mo whihangangai mo ia I hono whainga ke whakahoko poloseki ko ini. Kia motu ane e kusiu atu me Australia ni oku whetu momoko au pita Alaska ia na hoko ea pe ko toi mea kehe pe ko mo mama o kuia me I Tonga ko ha tau pe ko barrier pe ko a vahe ia pe ko whangataa I homo whainga ke whakahoko ngā weni pe ko wā mama o e nofo koia kai ngā Tonga I Alaska I Hena. Te lava whai ki lawe ki ta whako I a kataki.
Kai ke pe o whai ngata ngā we. O e ko I kone ki kone whai kone me ia ke mai kai tā ke mo ta whako alusi. Ko mea ko toa pena whakawa e ki ngai matapā ke to kone kakai. Ko ngai whai ngata pe ko maua pe ki kone o mea kone o mai. Ka koe ngā we whai ngofua pito pe ia. Ko tō lai unau nofo me tu a si o mai ke ngā we unau tā mai o whai ngata. Kau tai ko na ha ko si o mai ai ko nga we ia kulai kana fai ko fu a pe ia o ia ko mauloto na fai a ke me ko to ko ola ki fa ho ko ai o fa ka kai ola ki ma nga tana ke nga me ko ni ne ko tai no na tu ku mai kana lava pe ia o fa ho ko mal ko me ko to ke ko te loto a fai ko fu a pe me a ia no ko to ka nga yo ma no fo ko me ni o ku to ko la ya pito ka to nga ai o ma wa o fipi ma ofi pe mo ki nau tolu, mai tō lai ko mo ua ngā we, wa ngai mea ke pe. Kana au mai fo ke ngai ofa me ngai whetu ke pe Alaskan, wha o mai na ofa, pa malau monu ia mo malau tāpua ki uia koe. Koe lawa ke whakahoko ngā we ko ni ke whakahoko ai ofa ki Tonga. Ma halo koe whetu mama o tāha pe ni, ka ngai tu koe e tokoni ki Tonga me Alaska, pa koe fofua tai men ke wha tokoni me Alaska ki Tonga, ka ku mau loto ho nga ia pe mo whakawhita ki tamahe wani. Ko ne o mai ki mau tōru ki whetu ko ni ki mau lawa toko ni a ki Tonga. Ne ngau si o mau iwi ki whae toko ni ki Tonga. Ka koe ala ma koe e kakai, mo ngai community ke, mo office me ia. Ma wango ile ma ulahi o mau iwi, o wa o mau wha ki Tonga, I he kau mai an i ke. Hai koe whelau maari na te hapa mau tōru ki whake ngau e ko ni. Na mawanga whamomu an i ke. E mau ngai whamiri pe o ki mau tōru. Ai a koe mau te whito ia mo ngā ue koe na mawhakahoko, koe mau whalala ke eki, pe mau whamomua I ni ke, pe whai ngofua lewa ngā ue ko mau whai.
Ko ia malo au pito pe whakaosi pe o ku whia wata whenga maari ko I ni ke tia mo tolu ke ka toi mea kehe mo loto ke tāna ki mai, kai ko whia wata whenga maari ko I ni ke tia mo tolu ke whakahoko ha popoa ki ofa ki kai ngā Tonga I Tonga pe ko wheitu pe mamani o kunau kau mai ki Porokalamani.
Nai mea koe nai hoko koe ai tonesini koe panga ni mawhi koe na mai e lusi ke whakona koe container, hau koe se whine o tohi mai se ke. Nai ausi koe mau ai e container, nai kei toe foi pālate ia e ua, pia toki whonu le rei au pita container. Toi au mai mo e toko taha, Tonga. Kai ke loto e ke toro tāto tohi ngoa, ka kou whakamalo lahi ke toko taha ne, da hau ia mo e paanga e tolu afi, ke whakawhonu a ke container. Ongo ia ke te au. Kai ke loto i whahato no i ngoa. Nā e whonu re rei au pita container pa ma toi whakawhonu re rei mo o lunga mo container na e toi. O alu e container o ni whonu. Whaampe e tapa ki he o tuai, si kakai koe ni, e nau ofa. Nau loto, whakaawa ho nau loto mo nau mafuke, whahoko e tokoni koe ni ki Tonga. Ko ia pesuri atu. Malo au pita.
Malo le Layt, ko le pe ke o whamalmalo a tai pe ngai tala whatapu ko o siro no whai kai. Tāpe mua ke tukata ki popoaki, ko ngā koe ngā ue koe nga mau whahoko. Te whai pe aki I tala noa no pe, nau kawa he nofo I api o. Pe ke fumahino ka awe ngā ue koe ni, Fehoko mo mea nei whakahoko. Kau wha tio mahe laivi a mahina mo mea pa hange koe lawa Kulaea pa na mau ki whetaaki. Whiwhili o mau loto hange pe mau pehepe. Koe tokoni koe ni e alu ki whe, e alu ka hai. He whawhehu pehe. Kai nai e whengamari e tānga Livai, mo Fehoko ke uha o live le tio ke si o mai si kakai koni Alaska ni ke whaka o nau ngai o whako ki Tonga. Pa i taim nau lele mai ai o sio ke ngau e kautama koni. Ange ko ngai lau lea ko tau tol koni Tonga tau mau e loto koni moto kwa Tonga monga ke loto. Na whake e pōko nika ke ulawa mohe. E tio mai ke ngau e lahi nai whako koe kautama koni. Ko ngau e hango e lawe koe na Fehoko pēr mo Livai. Koe donation koni alu ke community. Koe ke alu ke ngai family koni amatoru. Kaku koe donation koni alu ke community. Paku kau Alaska ni e fufua donation me community ki community Tonga. O tau sia te neti me lai pe ngai tokoni ai u family ko na ngai family. Kau teke ke a donation ke tau sio atu o aluatu me fufonua me community ko ya ke community Tonga o hange ko ni whakahoko e Alaska ni. Paku kau ya e fefia make ko mau tu hao sio he. Ngau e Fehoko pa mo. Livai pa mo ki community ko nau. Nana foto fu ngau la. Ai ko la ko na Livai ki container fica tolu na mau tangu to whakau kau i pe whakafon fefe. Pe ahu ange fefine ko ni mo panga ni mafe. Na mau tanoa o e hei kai ke fono e container ko ni. Kana e whai pe ai whao e ai container fica tolu. O to e si pe ke fono. Mo e lava mai toko ua ko ni. O fe mau pe ke tau recognize Kulaea. She walk in o alu ka Fehoko. Na ma alu pe a ko ni. Ka ke loto to tahania ke whakahatu e ne. Tako na alu ia o mono ka Fehoko pe mo Livai foi tolu afe. Ke ne sio ke whakafonua. Ko ngai ofa ia o fe mau. Ke tau ma haloto ofa loto fefuaki. O hange ko ia koe tau moto. Tonga monga ke loto ko mau a ofa lahiat ke tonga ko tope. Ofa pe a watu ai iwi pa mo e tokoni koni si kakai ko tope Alaska ni. Pa mo whaau ngai. Ko ngā ko si iwi ni kakai. Watu ia mo nau loto mo nau. Ofa lahi ka te moto. E si whainga tā maki koe nai hoko ko ki tonga. Ofa atu ko ia pe malo.
Ko ako to pe na ta mai alusi o date mai na ma mo fe mari te tarano ke Fehoko ko ma fana ko ne te au neongo ko heni ka ko loto na tuku pe Alaska mo eki mo kole ai ako to pe ano la mari ke to koni ai ngau ne fai pe ko fi eko pe ai ko tua mo Tonga ko tau to fia he kai li aki tau tolu he tua na tuki ai a Tonga. Pe aku e popo lahi me whakamalo lahi Lucy. Ka ma Fehoko, ka ma Livai. Kulaea. Whakamalo lahi at Kulaea tahine kai te of. Mo ofo ke whai. O whatu Lani. Ka ma Sela Ofiu. Mo ka inga Tonga kotoa pe Alaska. O ko whawhetai. Ko hinga koe lotok mo mau. Tau malawa i tau tole mea. Na sio mai kakai ko ta peo whakaukau e kai ke malawa. Malawa ia. Ka kou whawhetai ai hok loto Suli veni malo o mi whenga maare ko ni ke share atu e mau experience mo anga e mau ngā ue. Mau whepopo aki be mo e lotu mo tui. Pe neongo ne lahi kakai ne kai ke nau o mai o popo. Ka kou tala monu atu pe mo whakaloto lahi ke ki mo tonu. Ko ngā ue ko ni ne kai ke mau sio ke mau mea halang lang. Pe te mau mea ha mea. Ka koe ngā ue i he ofa ki Tonga. Koe ofa li oa. Mo si o loto atu ke kakai ne mori ho nau ngahi whare. Ne kai ke mau te sio ko mau whamiri. Kana mau si o loto he ngahi ata me mango. Ka au maa ngahi ata me kanok polu. Pena e tangi ho mau loto. E na yongo I si hova ai lotu nei whai. Ta koe mea pia ko whai atu he loto ngani me teksisi koe lotu pe mai pou. Koe haki I mea e whakahoko mai lusika o maa Fehoko. Na e tariangi atu pe me he nea ke kotoa. Ta ko whamalo at Suli veni he opportunity koe ni. Ka take pe guau ki application ki drop off atu me he call. Kai tuk whakahoko atu e lusika o maa Fehoko. A whakamalo whakaosi. Whamalo lahi atu, ko ofa lahi atu me hoku loto. Ko se vani tieni. A whainga mea peo whia mau ha Tonga, reach out to me. O ke au ki businessi, o kui ko Kingdom Kava. O whinga ke supply it, ai kawa Tonga ki mamani katoa. Malo pito, thank you.
Ala pito Kato, lawa I pe ko pau ki ke alu koe ki he whātaha koe. Ka toi whoki mai eni ki a Fehoko ia ki he loki e taha, ke hoko atu pēna o popo aki nei ai. Malo au pito.
Malo pito. Ko ia koe ki o poto he lea. Ko tupe a langi he tamahe lani. Ko ngā koe ngāwe koe ni nai whai e community Tonga. Ko a tek pala manu mo ofa ma lot ma pe ke tau ki mo tu ki Tonga. Amang ina mama o pa ana lai. Mo kolo. Ko ina koe. Mai kata maka no koe Tonga. O kuongo ya te ama Tonga. Na matupa ki pe Tonga. Masio mata he tau masiwa. Ko iai koe lotu pe mo o fatka ki mo tolu ki Tonga. O fape au ngata e ngahi donation koin of mau o atu me Alaska. Whamalot ki mo tolu koto pe Alaska. Ko ia pe malo.
Sai fefia fo ke whenga maari ko ni ki a oma ke whausinga e tau polokalama o e kautahare te o ko ni me Australia, Sela. O ko mahalo to honga ia, o mahalo to maulalo e hoa ko ni ngea ko e ngau e o sikia velenga ne whakahoko e kakai e whonuani. Ange ko e ngai talanoa ne ta whanau o ki ai, ai whiwhine ko ni mai tola ni mange au. E hau o fua ki mea ki a kona loto kotoa. Ako mo meniti ko na e hanga e Kulaea mono mai ai tola e tahawhi ka te au. O malore Tonga I tua e konteina ke heka whao se konteina. Paulu e mai lewa awe ke skei tari mo tau I pahanga e ko Lani pe mo lau kau. O kia mo Sela Ofiu. Ko hua pe pau taanga nao tolu. O kua e ngau e ko loto ke mo whakahoko. Ka ko loto ke mo o whakahoko I he taimini. Pana nao e ke mai pe ko hae mea ko hoko pau taanga. Whemau ke whakafone tau konteina. Ko ofa ni yoku ni ma. Ko ofa ko autaki mai ki whakakato aki tau konteina. Tau whahat ko e ofa ka nau tolu mai whahat wa hingoa tō tāna whahoke ofa. Nai whetangi e whine mātua ko ni he loto mawhana mo e nau fia. Pau tāna lewa ka nau tolu. Ok, mo tangi hena. Kau alau ki tua ke whinga ke whaose e konteina. Ka tonu ke mo alo tai mino whai whakatau. Kai kere kua ngai talanoa, ma tau sio ke ofa e iki, ko ne whai mo ki tau tolu, ke lawa ki tau tokone ki Tonga. Nā mamahe mai me I Tonga e tā hiwa, walo hiwa. Ke kai ke whoki ki Tonga. Pena tukulo to behe ku whakakau, ki ai naha tai mi te whai a tokone ki Tonga. Pena hoko koe mea ko ni, ma nau loto lahi lewa, ke whai a tokone hanga au ke tokone ki Tonga. E matu ko he taimini mo Livai, na hange ko na whewhehi a mare e matu ke whai ngā ue. E uka ki hao mai, kana mawhalala pe ke heiki. Ko iai o kuai to e tala monu ko toa ke Tonga ko toa pe. Ko e mau o whae ni ko whakawhola wat. Ko mau koto kotoa pe ia. Ke oski a ho mau iwi. Ka kapa e loto. Ke maa siniwa mo e koula. Ka uhanga e eiki eo. O mai wheunga pe. Ke lama ke whai e mau o wha. Ko ia ku ofala ka tik mo tolu. Ngai family ko to ape ku to no ngai fa ngata. Ko ofana Alaska ku whakawholawat ka tik mo tolu. O whanga ki anga tamai mawhi o tāpe kina ki mo tolu. Whawhono ngai mea ko to ape o mo ngai ai anga mea ke hoko atu ngai ofa ki ni ke he. O whaat ke ngai whakatokoua, o ngai whakatu whawhine i Alaska. O mo whanongo mai ko maureo. Uha o ke tau ngau whata. Koe ngau hene ai eiki. O kai ko ngau e ako. Kai ko ngau e Livai. O kai ko ngau e o kaunanga koe ni. Ka koe ngau e eiki. Ki tau tau koni ke ni i ke he. Tau whakamomua ki nau tolu. E ngai mea ko toa pe o tau whahoko. E kono whina ngaloi ko mai ka tik tau tolu ki tau ofa ke masiwa mo tu hausia. O whalahi atu mo talamonu. Ke ngai whamiri ko toa pe ka pe fo ke polo kalama ko ni. Whamalo atu mo e whainga maari e. O e whakamalo whaos ke alus. O tō taha e ni ko hui tu ai a ngau e ko ni. Ne talo me aho ura ki o au mai ke aho ni. Pea ko hoko e ko whewhine i Tonga. O ne mau ai loto ofa. O ke ne sio pe ke ane lele ya ana. Ka ko ne sio ke lele i whakaluku fua. O whalahi atu mo talamonu ke polo kalama ko ni. O whake tāpu e ki na kohe e ki o atu hangai. Whakau kau ma ngai iwi. Ke hianga whahokwa ki o polo kalama he ka au. O whalahi atu ko ia pe malo.
Malo Pito Fehoko. Finally, if I could pass quickly to Lucy, just for any final words, shout outs to anyone who's tuning into our program around the globe.
I just wanted to say I forgot. I remember now my sister, my Tongan sister. Let me remember her name. Kulaea? I am so bad in names. I'm trying to remember all their names in Tongan. And I remember telling you that there was a $5,000 came on a day of, but then I forgot to mention that Sister Kulaea bring in gift cards, a total of $3,000 that helped fill out our last third container. So, and whatever Fehoko and the officers did to fill up the rest of them, make those holes covered up, that's what they did. So my thing is that I appreciate the love of God that we have here with the people that I work with the people from the Tongan community. My brother and sisters in Tongan here in Alaska, I don't call them separate or different from me. I will work together with them, as long as we can to better our community here, Pacific Island, our Polynesian people in Alaska. And we're going to move on. This is not the end of our work together. This is the beginning of it. And we have more good things and more important things that we can do to help our community here in Alaska. So I'm grateful that I get this close relationship with our sister and brother in Tongan here in Alaska. And I hope that my wishes to all of our Pacific Island community here in Alaska will come out and work together with us. So I wanted to say whawhetai to our family in Tongan, malo lelei, malo aupito, and I hope that everybody is doing okay back home. God protect and help each and every one that is going through hard times there back home. There will be, and there is a light at the end of all this. So I want to say, whawhetai, malo lelei.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for your words of inspiration, your leadership, and for driving this project. Ko wata hene whakamalo to honga ia maoni kia tiki mō tolo malo mo kaumai he tau poro kalama o whai ngahi vahe pe mo ngahi whakamatala o whekau aki mo whungao e kafa na mo whakahoko mei he kainga Tonga ma kainga Pasifiki mei Alaska I Amalika lahi pe o kua tai whakamalo ai poro kalamani kia tiki mō tolo kotoa mo tuku taimi ki tau whakahoko hawhi po talanoa aki I he tau poro kalama kuia Oi Hawani. Malo apito mo mea mai, ka mo mea tu au whātou.